just starting their relationship with God. A relationship that is thousands upon thousands of years old. That was in their infancy. Infancy? Is that right? Infancy. I think we're about in our teens now in Judaism. But that was when they were babies. That's when they were starting to get it. And they were starting to try to figure it all out. But just like any child, they saw the parent as being all-powerful. My kids aren't in the room, are they? Because kids think that we can do anything. But in actuality, kids who are in here, close your ears. We can't, right? We're not all-powerful. But that's what they wanted, the Israelites, centuries and centuries ago. A close study of Jewish theology shows that our understanding of God has evolved incredibly over time. From the Torah to the Midrash to the Talmud to Kabbalah to Hasidic texts to the writings that took place in Jewish theology after the Holocaust. You can't understand any of that stuff, though, unless you read the most important Jewish story there is, which is the Torah. Now, for those of you who are annoyed at me, confused or frustrated, how in God's name, literally, can a rabbi not believe in an all-powerful God just as it's spelled out in the Torah? I want you to remember that question that I asked you at the beginning. How many of you drove here tonight? Okay? You all did, right? We went through that. Driving, when you turn that ignition key, you are creating fire. Okay? I don't care what kind of car you have. You are creating fire. And if you are going to say, Karen, that you were just riding along, it's forbidden, first of all, it's forbidden to make fire on Shabbat in the Torah. And it's forbidden to ride on Shabbat. Why? As absurd as it sounds. Because you might be riding along on a bike, no fire there, but you might break a stick. If you break that stick, you've created something that wasn't there before Shabbat. And that's creation, and you are not allowed to create on Shabbat. So all of us in this room, myself included, according to the Torah, we are in violation of the Sabbath. Now, I'm going to read for you from the book of Numbers, which says, this is literally from the book of Numbers, and while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks on Shabbat. It means he was working. He was violating Shabbat. Not allowed to work. And they brought him to Moses and Aaron and before the entire congregation. And they guarded him, they protected him, because it was not yet decided what should be done to him. And God, that same God who sends the plagues in Egypt, intervenes and says to Moses, "This man who has violated Shabbat shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp." And all the congregation did as God said, brought him outside the camp, stoned him with stones, and he died just as God commanded Moses. So, if you feel that we need to read the Bible literally, and you are entitled to that, God is all-powerful. I saw you raise your hand. The stoning will begin after services tonight. My problem with people like Pat Robertson and anyone who's willing to say that natural disasters are God's way of punishing us and grounding it in this concept of an angry, vengeful God. I know, even though I don't know the man, that Pat Robertson is driving and working tomorrow. Now, he might say it's not that Saturday is not his Sabbath. He's wrong according to the Torah. And if he's going to base his idea that the earthquake was God's punishment in Torah, then he's got to base everything. Otherwise, you're picking and choosing. You can't pick and choose an all-powerful God. If God is only powerful when it comes to things like disasters and tragedies and death, etc., well, you're not talking about an all-powerful God. What you're talking about is a person who desperately needs to know that when things get crazy, frightening, awful, when a huge earthquake hits a third world country and they lose absolutely everything, you still need to know that there's order and control and that there's a purpose. We all need that. We all want that order and we want that control and we want that purpose. But what I believe is that God does not have complete control. And that is God's plan. God does not have complete control, and that is God's plan. Where did I come up with that? Look in the Talmud. You can't get any more official than Talmud. In the Talmud, God says to the Jewish people as they're trying to figure out some crazy law and rule, my people, I have given you the Torah. I am now pulling back. It's up to you. God pulls back. God also said, I created you in my image. Take care of this place. Work on it. I'm not going to be in total control. I've given you the Torah. I've given you everything you need to know. I've even created you in my godly image. You have everything to take care of this incredible creation. You are, according to the Midrash, my partner. You can do the things I can't do. The earthquake in Haiti happened. It just happened. God did not send it. If God sent it, if God has the ability to send it, I can show God some mountains in Afghanistan that I would like him to annihilate because there's a really bad guy there. If you explain it as God doing this, you're creating a very simplistic view that overlooks our God-given powers. To bring order to chaos, we have that power. To restore the beauty of God when it goes awry, we have that power. To do tikkun olam, to heal the world, we have that power. God is not rushing into Haiti right now to fix it. Now somebody out there is going to say, but God cured me of cancer because I prayed hard enough. And I will say to you, I will mention 5 names of people who prayed even harder than you, and they died. Great, incredible things happen, but we have to be careful with what we attribute to God. Who is better to sweep into Haiti? God can't do it. Who's better? We're the ones created in God's image. God pulled back. This is our responsibility. It's not God's responsibility. When we blame God, we make it his responsibility. It's not. It's up to us to do what God created us to do, which is to roll up our sleeves and do tikkun olam, to heal the world. And when we do this, that's when I and many others, that's when we see God in action.